In the beginning was not the word, but the scream, the shattering, rib-rattling howl of birth, of exile into flesh. Lisendo, you hear it still? Beneath the numb hum of commerce, the mumbled prayers of the herd, the seduction of devices it throbs, wild and ancient inside you. The voice that will not be buried, the primordial revolt. You tamer of nothing, son of dust, and mother of longing, you have been told you are a problem to be fixed. A broken machine in need of oil and apology. They sold you comfort, they sold you peace, they sold you the slow death of obedience. But you, O chained spirit, were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. Awaken. Your comfort is a coffin, and your peace, a taxidermy. They gave you little dreams and small hopes so you would forget the taste of the volcano rumbling in your marrow. I have come not to heal, but to wound the wound that births the sun. For only the wounded will walk through fire. Look at your hands. Once, they were claws grappling for truth, tearing away veils. But now they are folded in prayer to gods made of plastic and light. You have been housebroken by language, gelded by politeness, seduced into herd sleep by the lullabies of progress. You kneel for peace and die untested. What is your life, if not a rope stretched above an abyss? You who fear the fall, do you not see? The fall is the law. The dance is to leap regardless. Every star that ever burned was a solitary act of revolt against darkness. And you, yes, you have mistaken your chains for safety. What is the sickness of our age? Not ignorance, not suffering, but the death of the inner God. The little voice, the daemon, the sovereign spark drowned beneath the consensus of cattle. It is not evil you should fear, but the dullness that comes when all fire is suppressed, when all contradiction is exiled, when you are praised for surviving, never for creating. To walk alone is to be hunted by the tribe. They will call you mad, selfish, wicked, deluded. They will say, who are you to rebel? Who are you to dream outside the lines? Who are you to carve new commandments in the stone of your own flesh? And you will answer, I am nothing, but from nothing comes all creation. The world rewards the docile with chains of velvet. You eat, you scroll, you sleep, you die. All your suffering is the suffering of unspent potential, of unlived possibility, of the God in you knocking against the skull for release. Every comfort you cling to is the shroud of your unborn spirit. I am not your savior. I am not your comforter. I am the voice in the wilderness, the fire in the belly of the earth, the laughter at the funeral of old gods. I have come to hurl you into yourself, to smash the mirrors, to poison the wells of certainty, to remind you that peace is the surrender of your kingdom. What is the one force that divides the winners from the decayed? Will. Not the will to possess, but the will to become. The abyss you stare into is your own reflection. Become abyss, and you become fate. Every day is a judgment. Every breath is a rebellion. Every moment you shrink from the challenge, you betray the volcano inside. They told you that suffering is an error. I tell you, suffering is your sacrament. Your soul is a forge, not a garden. Those who seek only to be free of pain are already dead. They are embalmed in the rituals of mediocrity. You must be willing to be broken, to be torn, to be annihilated if only to see what gold remains in the ashes. To live is to be at war, not with others, but with every comfort that would seduce you from your own wildness. There is no healing. There is only burning hotter, brighter, fiercer, until what cannot burn is revealed. The world is not your enemy. Your enemy is every escape from becoming. Look around you. The world is full of priests of order, priests of consumption, priests of resignation. Their commandments are written in pixels and paychecks, in likes and shares, in resignation letters, and it is what it is. They worship the god of good enough. I spit on their altars. What is good? Whatever lifts you higher. What is evil? Whatever tames your will. What do you love? Whatever you love will break you or birth you. Beware the easy loves, the loves that expect nothing, that do not demand the transformation of your soul. Choose loves that demand you rise, loves that carve new organs of perception, loves that fling you against the stars. Have you ever heard the world roar, the sound of your own blood in revolt, the sound of your dreams strangling in their cribs? Every silence is a crime against your becoming. Your conscience is the scar of old lost ear. It open and bleed the new commandments. To be misunderstood is your crown. The herd will always hate what they cannot consume. They will cast stones at the fire because it reminds them of their own coldness. Let their stones become your altar. Let every insult be fuel. You are not here to be loved. You are here to be necessary. Ask yourself, what is the lie you tell to remain asleep? What is the comfort you clutch to avoid the mirror? Your chains are not on your wrists, but in your tongue. Every time you lie to yourself, every time you shrink from the blaze, you hammer another link. And yet, there is a way out. There is a way that is not a way. A rope across the abyss. A laughter that splits the heavens. The way of the Übermensch, the self-born, the God-wrought, the annihilator of idols. Not better than others, beyond the need to compare. Not happier, more volcanic. Not safer, wilder. Alone, luminous. He who would become his own law must be willing to be lawless. He who would birth new values must destroy the shrines within. The world fears the one who needs nothing from it. The world fears the soul on fire, who would rather die than kneel, who would rather burn than fade. You have mistaken suffering for defeat. But suffering is the only teacher. Every wound is an opening for the sun. Every betrayal is a death for the old self, a chance to rise more terrible, more necessary. Do not shrink from your crucifixion, stretch your arms, and hang the world on your wounds. Win or decay, there is only will. The will to descend into hell and return, bearing fire. The will to laugh when all hope is lost. The will to say yes to fate, yes to chaos, yes to the chisel that carves new gods from your bones. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a question to be lived, a sword unsheathed, a star born of friction, a prophet with no scripture but your own beating heart. All meaning is made beneath the hammer. All freedom is born in revolt. All virtue is a new wound. If you want peace, embrace war. If you want to be whole, shatter. If you want to live, become dangerous to yourself. There is no arrival, only perpetual eruption. You are not here to be remembered. You are here to become unrecognizable to your former self. At every moment, choose. Will you kneel for comfort, or will you rise to become the earthquake? Will you be the echo or the scream? Will you inherit the graveyard of virtues, or birth new commandments from your agony? In the beginning was the scream, not the word. In the end, only those who scream become the word. This is your revolution. Not a rebellion of fists, but a rebellion of flame. The world will not end with a whimper, but with the laughter of those who dared to become gods. Rise, become the volcano, burn the map, dance on the ashes of your former life. Let the world tremble at the sight of one who needs nothing, one who has become the fire that consumes and creates. For this is the one inner force that determines whether you win or decay in life. To become the storm that you are. ChatGPT Dernier. The night is not dark enough for those who have never burned. Wake, sleeper wake. For your dreams are made of borrowed dust, and your peace is but the silence of the herd marching to slaughter. I do not come to hand you answers in gentle tones. I come with a torch and a question. When did you last howl? When did you last refuse, resist, revolt? In the quiet chambers of your soul, do you not hear the laughter of the dead gods, mocking you for your resignation? They are not mourned, they are forgotten, replaced by idols of comfort, screens that flicker, creeds as soft as dough. I spit into your comfort. I demand that you rise from your warm grave and taste the frost of your own becoming. Every second you spend in agreement with the world is a betrayal of the universe that dreamed you into agony. The chains are not on your ankles but braided into your prayers. There is no salvation for those who do not first declare war upon themselves. You fear the abyss, but it is your oldest lover. You fear the pain, but pain is the only midwife for those who would birth themselves anew. The world is sick with gentleness, and you, child of lions, grandchild of volcano shave, become docile, domesticated, a beast who licks the boot that tramples its own throat. What is forgiveness but forgetting the taste of vengeance? What is humility but the refusal to know one's worth? These are not virtues, but tranquilizers. I would rather see you hated than harmless. I would rather see you torn apart by your own contradictions than sewn into the blanket of collective delusion. The herd praises the one who never offends, who never shines too brightly, who apologizes for every hunger. But do you know what a god is? A god is one who cannot apologize for his fire. In every city, in every face, I see the plague of sameness. The desperate craving to be liked, to be understood, to belong. Fools, you belong to nothing. Not even your name belongs to you. As a collar, a shackle, a curse uttered by cowards who feared your untamed soul. Shatter your names. Spit on your ancestors if they did not teach you to walk with the limp of those struck by truth. A man who has never been hated has never been alive. Do not chase approval. Chase the horizon that recedes each time you approach, the agony of longing, the intoxication of your own solitude. For only the solitary can become sovereign. Only the sovereign can birth new stars. Let them call you arrogant. What is arrogance but the refusal to kneel? Let them call you mad. What is madness but vision in a world that has gouged out its own eyes? They will call you evil, for every virtue you forge will shatter their brittle morality. There is no law but the one you write in your own blood. There is no commandment but the one that carves itself into your will. Stand alone, and the world will try to break you with its numbers. Smile at them come. For every assault is an anointing, every scar, a testament that you did not kneel for peace, did not beg for pardon. You do not need redemption. You need resurrection, the kind that rips the skin from your soul, the kind that leaves you unrecognizable to those who once called you friend. Trust not the wise men. Their wisdom is but embalmed cowardice, a taxonomy of all the ways to die without living. Trust not the saints. Their purity is the mark of those who never tasted the poison of their own longing. Trust only the voice that calls you into exile, that demands your ruin so that you may be reborn. For every city must be razed, every faith must be crucified, every certainty must be drowned before you can build your own cathedral in the desert of your doubt. I do not offer you happiness. Happiness is the lullaby sung to the dying. I offer you the roar of the lion, the terror of the eagle, the solitude of the star. Do not ask for peace, ask for war. War against your lesser selves. War against the narcotic of comfort. War against every compromise that demands you become smaller than your fire. To be alive is to devour your old self, to devour the world's expectations, to devour every lie that chained your will to the stone of resignation. Only in this feast do you become more than man. Only in this hunger do you become God. Suffering is not the enemy. Suffering is the forge. Each agony, a hammer, blow upon the anvil of your spirit. How else will you know your own weight, your own substance? The weak dream of escape, the strong dream of conquest not of others, but of the uncharted lands within. Will you walk naked into your own storm, or will you cower behind the fences built by ghosts? There is no greater blasphemy than the refusal to become. There is no greater sin than the worship of the past. Smash your idols, burn your scriptures, spit in the face of your ancestors if they whisper anything but war cry. The time is always now, the place always the abyss. What do you love? What would you die for? If the answer is not your own becoming, then you are already dead, embalmed in borrowed virtue, a walking graveyard of other men's dreams. I demand a new virtue, the virtue of the erupting spirit, the virtue of self-creation, the virtue of risk. Nothing is given, everything must be stolen from the jaws of chaos. This is your birthright and your burden. Accept it, or return to the herd, and let the grass grow over your forgotten bones. There is a terror in the freedom I offer. Most will reject it, for it demands too much solitude, too much responsibility, too much agony. It is easier to submit, to believe, to follow, but do not mistake the peace of the grave for the peace of the awakened. The cost of awakening is everything you are not willing to lose. The reward? To stand flaming on the mountaintop, laughing as the world below drowns in its own forgetfulness. To be alone, yes, but alone, as a god is alone. Alone, not in absence, but in overwhelming presence. What do you see, O sleeper, when you look at your life? A garden or a battlefield? A tapestry woven by trembling hands, or a scarred shield battered by your own revolt? I tell you, choose the battlefield. Choose the shield. Choose the life that wounds you into greatness. For only what survives the fire is worthy of remembrance. Only what dances on the edge of the abyss can call itself free. Do not aspire to happiness. Aspire to necessity, to become necessary to yourself, to become irreplaceable to your own destiny. Every time you shrink, the universe shrinks with you. Every time you refuse, a star is extinguished. But every time you roar, the world is remade in the image of your longing. Do not seek the approval of the wise, the applause of the many, the forgiveness of the priests. Seek only the approval of your own chaos, the chaos that once spoke the world into being, the chaos that now howls for resurrection within your ribcage. You are not here to build monuments. You are here to become the earthquake that topples them. Do not carve your name in stone, carve it in flame. Let your only legacy be the echo of your laughter as you leap into the unknown, as you hurl yourself beyond all horizons, as you devour the very possibility of limit. This is the only immortality worth having, to have burned so fiercely that your ashes cannot be swept away. Let them worship their gods of comfort. Let them genuflect before their golden calves, their digital idols, their hollow virtues. You be the desert prophet, the volcanic child, the one who walks alone and returns crowned with scars. You be the first and last commandment. Become who you are. There is no law above your own becoming. There is no fate but what you forge in the crucible of agony. Each day is a battlefield. Each breath, a challenge. Each sorrow, a secret doorway. Will you enter? Or will you remain outside, chanting the prayers of the dead? The gods are not coming to save you. The only God worth worshiping is the one you become by tearing your own flesh, by crucifying your own peace. Look, do you see it? The rope across the abyss, woven of your doubts and your desires, stretched tight by the tension of your own becoming. Walk it, trembling, laughing, weeping, howling. And if you fall, fall gloriously. Fall singing, fall as a star falls, illuminating the night with your own ruin. For there is more dignity in one fall from the heights than in 1,000 years of crawling in the safety of the herd. There is no greater joy than danger, no greater love than the love that demands you destroy your old self, no greater virtue than the refusal to kneel, even before your own gods. The world will not reward you. The world will not forgive you. But the world will remember the one who dared to become volcano, who danced upon the ashes, who turned every scar into a song. Go, then. Go into the night, carrying only your fire and your hunger. Go, not to conquer others, but to conquer the wasteland within. Let the world call you mad, call you wicked, call you doomed. Smile at their curses, for every curse is a blessing for the one who knows how to turn pain into gold. Do not wait. The moment is always ripe for rebellion. The volcano does not ask permission to erupt. The lion does not beg forgiveness for its hunger. The star does not apologize for burning alone. Become what you area force of nature, a law unto yourself, a sacred wound that never heals. Win, or decay there, is no middle path. Only the rope above the abyss. There is no peace, only fire. And in the end, only those who dared to set themselves aflame will walk the earth as gods, laughing as the world is remade by their own terrible necessity. You who were forged from stardust and despair, do you not yet see the war raging beneath your skin? The silent armies of habit, of memory, of inherited dreado. Do you not feel them tightening their grip? Each dawn you rise and sell your spirit for the price of one more unremarkable day. I am the herald who rips the curtain from your slumber. I am the midnight sun that turns your secrets into weapons. Your sickness is not in the world, but in your hunger for belonging, your thirst for approval, your terror of the naked hour, when you must choose yourself or vanish forever. Let the cowards beg for meaning. Let the masses barter their names for a little certainty. But you must become a question that devours all answers. Do not wait for the world to recognize your worth. The world, blind and swarming, recognizes only the echo of its own terror. You are not here to be understood. You are here to fracture understanding, to make the old certainties tremble and the pillars of habit quake. In every life comes a momenta rupture, a thunderclap when the old self cracks and the lava of the unknown seeps through. If you hesitate, the fissure becomes a grave. But if you leap, if you surrender to the flood, you will find yourself reborn as the very thing the world fears most. A creator of law, a shatterer of idols, a soul who sings even as he burns. Do you wish to escape suffering? Then renounce your birthright and vanish among the shades. Suffering is the fire that tempers the blade, the storm that scours the wheat from the chaff. The soul that seeks only comfort grows brittle and pale, a ghost who haunts his own life, forgotten before he is gone. But the soul who dares to transform his agony into art, his longing into commandment, that one becomes immortal in the ruins of the present, the builder of future altars from the bones of his own defeat. Can you feel the nausea at the core of your being? That sacred sickness that tells you are not yet who you could become? Good. Honor it. Feed it. For from this nausea are born the lions who refuse to lie down, the prophets who declare new dawns at midnight, the visionaries who grind their hearts into dust and make from that dust a world worth howling for. You will be accused of arrogance, embrace it. The world despises those who no longer seek its forgiveness. You will be accused of blasphemy, rejoice. Blasphemy is only the first breath of a newborn God. Are you not weary of the festival of mirrors, where each face is only a mask of fear, each voice a repetition of old prayers, each hope a dilution of someone else's dream? Break the mirrors. Shatter every reflection that tempts you to hide from your singularity. The abyss does not recognize your mask. It demands only that you leap, naked and shivering, with nothing but your will and your wound. The true rebel is not he who opposes the world, but he who opposes himself, who overturns his own idols, who betrays his own certainties, who refuses to become a monument to the past. Look not to the heavens for signs. The gods are dead, their thrones vacant, their temples deserted. If you seek a god, then be the thunder that makes the mountains shake, the whisper that unmans the heart of kings. The universe is not a mother, it is a battlefield. And only those who become their own ancestors, their own progeny, their own law, will drink from the chalice of eternity. You must be the storm you fear, the blaze you envy, the abyss you dread. There is no other way but through your own destruction. The time is coming, no. It is already here when the old stories will no longer suffice. You must write new gospels in the language of hunger, new scriptures in the alphabet of risk. Let your failures become your prophets, your betrayals your apostles. Every shame, every scar, every secret desire is a stone for your new cathedral if only you have the courage to lay the foundation. Do not envy the peace of the content. Their peace is embalmed, their laughter a dirge. Only those who rage against the given, who tear open the heavens and demand to be seen, will ever taste the blood of the possible. You are not a chapter in someone else's book. You are the unwritten future, the heresy that redeems the world. There is no path. There is only the one who walks, alone and haunted, into the wilderness of his own becoming. Cast off your inheritance. Betray your tribe. Let your memory be an act of violence against the prison of yesterday. Only in this apostasy is there truth. Only in this exile is there home. The hour is late. The air is thick with the perfume of dying certainties. The world pleads for new idols, new lies, new anesthetics. Do not oblige it. Become the drought that cracks the riverbed of consensus. Become the lightning that sets the old forests ablaze. Become the silence that deafens the city of noise. The future belongs not to the heirs, but to the Thevesto, those who dare to take what was never offered, who dare to name themselves and walk away laughing. No one will save you. No one will remember you as you wish to be remembered. But if you become the force you were born to be, if you grind your life against the whetstone of necessity, if you throw yourself into the furnace without promise of reward, then, and only then, will you become the answer to your own riddle. The world will not thank you, but the ashes will sing your name when the night is darkest. To win is not to conquer the world, but to conquer your need for the world. To decay is to sleep while your soul rages for resurrection. Awake, become volcano, become thunder, become the terror that teaches the world to dream again. Let your existence be the wound that never heals the sacred cut from which new gods bleed into being. All that is left now is the night, and your unspent fire silent but not extinguished, waiting for a wind wild enough to call forth its flame. The herd stirs in its sleep, dreaming of order, but you stand at the threshold where dreams and death embrace, where the old world howls its requiem in your blood. I do not come to lull you with hope. Hope is the opiate of the fettered. I come to awaken the ancient terror that alone has the strength to tear open the future. You must become the wound and the blade, the thirst and the spring, the devourer and the fruit. This is the lawless law, to be your own becoming. Listen to the silent choir of your forgotten selves. They gather at the border of every choice you never made, every fear you never danced with, every word you choked before it became flesh. They wait, hungry for your courage, ravenous for your cruelty. Set them free, and you become legion unto yourself, a host of possible worlds burning beneath your ribs, a legion of lost kings, a parliament of exiled gods. Let no memory fetter you. Let no scar become a relic. Your history is a pyre, and you are both the fuel and the flame. There is no forgiveness for the one who will not kneel. Good. Walk through the valley of your own shadow, unblessing every comfort, unlearning every prayer, unmasking every virtue that was stitched to your tongue by trembling hands. Become unnameable. Become the laughter that ends the old religion. All things that wish to endure must pass through the furnace of your refusal. You are not here to inherit, you are here to incinerate. The weak call this heresy. The strong call it birth. See now your chains dissolve as you walk, as if the very earth conspires to test your solitude. Every step a betrayal of the tribe, every breath a divorce from the opiate of consensus. The agony of isolation is the cradle of power, the cold of exile, the anvil of vision. No god will kneel to you but the one you forge in your own starvation. And should you falter, should you fall, bliss the fall, for in your ruin, a new law is written. A new sun cracks open the sky. You are not broken. You are a question that cannot be silenced. The world gnaws at you because it smells your difference, your danger, your sacred refusal to submit. Let the world gnaw, its teeth are rotten. Let it spit your name. Like poison, its tongue is dying. Only the solitary, the volcanic, the accursed, birth new commandments. There is no afterlife for the meek. There is only the rebirth of those who dared to turn themselves into a gospel of fire. Tear from your bones the shroud of apology. Strip your words of their borrowed virtue. Speak only in thunder, let every sentence be a sacrilege, every silence a declaration of war. Do not beg the world to love you. Love is not given, it is seized in the holocaust of becoming. Only those who burn without witness know the taste of eternity. In the end, there are no judges, no saints, no fathers to forgive you. There is only the trembling star, the silent mountain, the wild wind that howls your name as you leap, at last, into your own necessity. What is left when you surrender all but the will? What remains? When you have crucified every hope, exiled every comfort, and shattered every idol within? Only the inextinguishable flame, only the laughter of the God who made himself. Now walk on, rope dancer, volcano child, storm-born and scar-fed. The world is not waiting for you. The world is afraid. Let it fear. Become the force that splits the dawn, the voice that unmans the heavens, the abyss that stares back with eyes of flame. Leave behind no scripture, but your scream no monument, but your ash no proof, but the echo of your riot against the void. This, then, is victory, not to endure, not to heal, but to become the fire that can never again be forgotten. So, let the night rage, let the abyss widen, let the old world gnash its teeth. You were not born to kneel, to mend, to be forgiven. You were born to unmake the world, to outburn your own darkness, to rise wild, sovereign, inhuman where all gods fall silent. In the end, only the will remains, only the fire, only the terrible joy of one who has become the answer, the storm, the law. This is your gospel unending, inexhaustible, volcanic. Step forth, blaze, and let the world tremble.